You wake up, get dressed in clothing that feels comfortable, familiar, safe. You've worn variations of these same outfits for years. But when you catch your reflection in a mirror or see yourself in a photograph, something feels off. You look more tired than you feel, more faded, more invisible. And you can't quite put your finger on why. Here's what almost no one talks about. It's not about your face changing or your body shifting with the years. It's not about wrinkles or gray hair or any of the things we're taught to worry about. The real culprit, the one secretly adding years to your appearance, is hiding in plain sight inside your closet. 3 specific colors and 3 particular styles are working against you every single day, draining the light from your complexion, collapsing your silhouette, and making you disappear when you deserve to shine. This isn't about chasing youth or following fleeting trends. This is about understanding something fundamental that changes as we move through our 60s and beyond. Your skin has transformed in ways that are invisible to the naked eye, but profoundly affect how colors interact with your face. Your body's proportions have subtly shifted, changing which silhouettes honor your frame versus those that work against it. And the clothing choices that once made you look vibrant and alive now do the exact opposite, through no fault of your own. What you're about to discover will completely change how you approach your wardrobe. You'll learn exactly which colors drain the life from your face, even though they looked stunning on you decades ago. You'll understand why certain styles collapse your posture and pull your entire presence downward. And most importantly, you'll walk away with clear, actionable alternatives that will make you look instantly brighter, more energized, and effortlessly elegant. Because after 60, style stops being about impressing others and becomes about honoring the magnificent woman you've become. Let's begin. The science behind what's happening to your skin. Before we dive into the specific colors and styles to avoid, you need to understand what's happening beneath your skin's surface, because this knowledge changes everything. As we move past 60, our skin undergoes a series of remarkable transformations that are completely normal, natural, and universal across all ethnicities and skin tones. Research from dermatological institutes shows that starting around our 40s, we begin losing melanocytes, the cells responsible for producing melanin pigment, at a rate of 6 to 8% per decade. By the time we reach our 60s, this loss becomes visibly significant. Our skin appears lighter, more translucent, with a softer quality than it had in our younger years. The dermis itself, the deeper layer of skin where collagen resides, can lose anywhere from 20 to 80% of its thickness during the aging process. Collagen production slows dramatically, with studies documenting that fibroblasts from individuals over 80 produce significantly less type 1 procollagen compared to those in their 20s. But here's what matters most for your wardrobe choices. This loss of melanin and collagen doesn't just change your skin's texture. It fundamentally alters something called facial contrast. Facial contrast refers to the color and luminance difference between your facial features, specifically your eyes, lips, and eyebrows, and the surrounding skin. Groundbreaking research published in scientific journals has proven that facial contrast decreases with age across all ethnic groups. The difference in redness between your lips and surrounding skin diminishes. The luminance difference between your eyebrows and forehead softens. Your eyes lose some of their defining contrast against the skin around them. This matters enormously because our brains unconsciously use facial contrast as a primary cue for perceiving age. Studies involving women from Caucasian, Chinese, Latin American, and South African backgrounds all showed the same pattern. When aspects of facial contrast were artificially increased in photographs, observers perceived those women as younger. when facial contrast was decreased, the same women were judged as older. The effect was consistent regardless of the ethnic background of either the women in the photos or the people viewing them. The color of your skin itself changes too. As melanin decreases and the number of red and blue tinted capillaries diminishes, skin can take on more yellow undertones. Collagen density in the upper dermis directly affects how much light your skin scatters and reflects. Research using Monte Carlo simulations, a sophisticated computational method, has demonstrated that when collagen fiber density decreases with age, skin becomes less bright because it scatters less light. The relationship is direct and measurable. Lower collagen density equals reduced skin luminosity. What this means for your wardrobe is profound. The colors that once harmonized beautifully with your higher contrast, more pigmented skin, may now create discord. Colors that used to brighten your face might now drain it. And understanding this isn't about vanity. It's about working intelligently with your body's natural evolution instead of fighting against it. Color number 1, dull, muddy earth tones. Walk into any department store and you'll see them everywhere. Racks upon racks of what the fashion industry calls timeless neutrals. Washed out beiges that barely register as a color. Muddy browns that seem to absorb light rather than reflect it. Dusty mustards and pale sages that promise earthy elegance, but deliver something else entirely. These muted earth tones feel safe. They're comfortable. They seem age-appropriate, and they're quietly aging you by 5 to 10 years every time you wear them. Here's exactly what happens when you pair these dull, low-energy colors with your softer facial contrast. Your skin, which has naturally become lighter and lost some of its melanin richness, now sits alongside clothing in a similar tonal range. Instead of creating definition and dimension, everything blends together. The result is a flattened, monotone appearance where your face loses its presence. Think about a pale beige blouse that's almost identical in tone to your skin. Rather than brightening your complexion through contrast, it merges with it, creating shadows instead of highlights. Your face appears washed out, tired, sometimes even sallow. Or picture a soft olive tunic, something that might have looked naturally beautiful and earthy 20 years ago. Now, without enough contrast between the clothing and your softened skin tone, that olive can make your complexion appear lackluster or muted. Those washed-out tans, the faded browns that dominate so many mature wardrobes, they systematically drain color from your cheeks and lips. Even on mornings when you've slept beautifully and feel energized, these colors broadcast fatigue. Research in color psychology reveals why this happens. Colors with medium brightness and gentle vibrancy actually boost perceived mood and signal energy to observers. These moderately saturated colors reflect more light onto your face, making your expression appear open, awake, and present. When you wear colors that bring energy toward your face, rather than absorbing it, you naturally carry yourself differently. Your posture subtly improves. You smile more readily. You feel more engaged with the world around you. And that internal shift shows externally. The psychology behind why women gravitate toward these dull earth tones is fascinating and completely understandable. Many of us learned, somewhere along the way, that muted colors were sophisticated, that blending in was more elegant than standing out. We absorbed messages about age-appropriate dressing that equated maturity with disappearing into neutral backgrounds. Fashion magazines targeting mature women overflow with these exact shades, creating a self-reinforcing cycle where these colors seem like the only appropriate choices. But sophistication doesn't require invisibility. Elegance doesn't demand that you fade into beige obscurity. What should you wear instead? Look for medium saturation colors, not neon brights that overwhelm, not dull mutes that drain, but colors that live in that perfect middle zone where they're lively and present without shouting. Soft teal brings brightness to your face without overpowering your features. Bordeaux or wine red creates beautiful, elegant contrast against softened skin tones. Slate blue offers gentle uplift while remaining sophisticated. Think jewel tones that have been slightly softened with gray, navy that's naturally timeless and flattering, or soft white and ivory that feel fresh without the harsh starkness of pure white. These colors don't announce themselves loudly. They lift, they reflect flattering light onto your skin. They create just enough contrast to define your face without creating harsh lines. And you don't need to overhaul your entire wardrobe tomorrow. Start with one piece. Swap a single dull beige top for something in soft teal or slate blue. Notice how differently you feel when you catch your reflection. Notice how people's eyes focus on your face rather than sliding past you. That's the power of choosing colors that work with your skin's evolution rather than against it. Color number 2. Stark, unmodified black. The color we're told is universally flattering, endlessly sophisticated, always appropriate. It's the backbone of countless wardrobes, the easy choice on rushed mornings, the safe option for any occasion. Black is classic, elegant, and yes, slimming. But when pure, stark black sits right up against your face after 60, it becomes one of the most aging colors you can possibly wear. And understanding why requires looking at how light itself interacts with color. Black doesn't reflect light. It absorbs it. This is basic physics, but the implications for your appearance are profound. When you wear black near your face, that light-absorbing quality creates shadows on your skin. These aren't the natural shadows that give faces dimension. These are exaggerated shadows that deepen every line, emphasize texture changes, and highlight exactly the areas where skin naturally loses elasticity with age. Your under-eye area can appear darker and more hollowed. Fine lines around your mouth become more pronounced. Even your skin tone itself can look duller, more tired. Remember that decreased facial contrast we discussed? That's what makes black particularly harsh after 60. When your lips, eyes, and eyebrows have naturally softened in color contrast against your skin, introducing a very strong, stark color like pure black creates an overwhelming imbalance. The black overpowers your features. Your face appears smaller within the frame of black clothing. Your presence diminishes rather than amplifies. The very quality that makes black feel powerful, that absolute absorption of light, works against the softer coloring of mature skin. This shows up everywhere in ways you might not consciously register. Black turtlenecks pulled up close to your chin, black scarves wrapped around your neck, black winter coats with high collars, black blazers worn as the foundation of safe outfits, black thick-framed glasses, a trend that can unintentionally draw the eye downward and emphasize shadows rather than framing your face attractively. You might have moments where you look in the mirror and think your skin looks unusually dull, or your under-eye circles seem more prominent than they did yesterday. It might not be tiredness at all. It might simply be harsh black, absorbing all the light around your face. Here's something honest that most women won't admit aloud. Many of us wear black because it feels like armor. It's the color that doesn't require thought, the safe uniform that helps us disappear when we're uncertain. Black whispers, "I don't want to be noticed," and "I'm playing it safe." After 60, though, your style can become something different, something more intentional. Choosing softer neutrals or colors that genuinely brighten your face isn't about trying to look younger. It's about looking alive, present, and authentically, magnificently you. When you replace harsh black with alternatives that still provide elegance and sophistication without the draining effect, something shifts in how you show up in the world. You don't just look lighter, you feel lighter. Your energy changes. So what are these alternatives? Charcoal gray gives you darkness and depth, but with infinitely more softness against aging skin. Midnight navy is incredibly flattering, offering richness without harshness. Espresso brown adds warmth and depth while being gentler on your complexion. Pewter or soft silver gray brightens without overwhelming. And yes, soft black exists, slightly faded versions that maintain the silhouette benefits without the stark contrast. These shades give you everything you love about black. They're slimming. They're versatile. They work across seasons and occasions. But they don't drag your complexion downward. And you can absolutely still wear black, you just need to be strategic about placement. Black trousers, black shoes, black handbags, black belts. These work beautifully because they're not sitting directly against your face. If you do wear black near your face, simply add something to lift and brighten. A colorful scarf in one of those medium saturation shades we discussed. A soft lipstick in a flattering tone. Earrings that bring light upward toward your face, rather than letting it get absorbed into the void of pure black. Color number 3. Washed out pastels. Spring arrives and suddenly stores explode with pastels. Baby pink, powder blue, mint green, pale yellow, soft lavender. These colors promise freshness, femininity, softness. They look beautiful on the hanger. They seem like the perfect gentle alternative to harsh darks. And on certain women with specific coloring, they can work beautifully. But for most women over 60, washed out pastels create an aging effect that's subtle but unmistakable. The issue with these muted pale pastels goes back to that critical concept of saturation. Washed out pastels lack the color intensity to reflect adequate light back onto your face. When your skin has already become lighter and lost some of its natural pigmentation, placing it next to equally pale, unsaturated colors creates what color scientists call a color void. There's insufficient contrast for definition. Everything washes together into a faded, tired-looking palette. Research in color perception shows that these muted pastels can actually make observers perceive you as less healthy and vital. Our brains are wired to associate certain color relationships with energy and wellness. When colors drain vibrancy rather than enhancing it, people unconsciously read you as less energetic and, yes, older. Instead of brightening your complexion, washed-out pastels can emphasize any sallowness or gray undertones that naturally develop in mature skin. Your face loses dimension. Your features blend into the pastel background rather than standing out against it. Think about the classic baby blue with soft pink combination that dominated certain eras of fashion. Together, these create an overly sweet, dated look that instantly adds years, simply because they feel stuck in another time. They lack the depth that creates visual interest. Your eye doesn't know where to focus, so you end up looking forgettable, faded, almost ghost-like against pale backgrounds. Fashion psychology research reveals that 68% of women over 55 report feeling invisible in clothing that's too pale or washed out, the opposite of confident and present. The challenge is that pastels are everywhere, and they're constantly marketed to mature women as age-appropriate, soft, feminine choices. But age-appropriate shouldn't mean invisible. The solution isn't avoiding pastel families entirely. It's choosing pastel versions with more saturation, more color intensity, more life. Instead of dusty pink, reach for coral or rich blush. Instead of powder blue, try periwinkle or sky blue with actual color depth. Instead of washed-out lavender, choose a clear orchid. These saturated pastels have enough intensity to create proper contrast against your skin, to reflect light favorably, to give your face the boost it deserves. Think sorbet shades rather than baby colors. Sorbet has vibrancy. It has juice. It has life. Baby colors are pale, weak, whisper quiet. You want colors that can hold a conversation, not colors that fade into the wallpaper. And when you do wear lighter colors, pair them strategically with stronger neutrals to create balance. A soft pink top looks infinitely better under a navy blazer than it does in an all-pastel outfit. The navy provides the contrast and structure that makes the pink work instead of wash out. If you have cool undertones in your skin, you might find that saturated versions of lavender, mint green, or dusty rose work beautifully. If you have warm undertones, look toward peach, coral, seafoam, or warm vanilla tones. Neutral undertones have the flexibility to wear both. The key is always saturation. The color needs enough intensity to show up as actual color rather than just paleness. Style number 1. Shapeless, oversized silhouettes. Now let's shift from color to silhouette, because the shape of your clothing matters just as much as its hue. One of the fastest ways clothing ages you has nothing to do with color and everything to do with structure, proportion, and visual balance. Shapeless, oversized silhouettes dominate clothing marketed to mature women, and they're quietly adding years to your appearance every single day. As we age, certain physical changes happen naturally and beautifully. Our posture may soften slightly. Our shoulder line becomes gentler. Waist definition may become less pronounced than it was in our 20s. These changes are normal, part of our body's evolution. The problem arises when we wear clothing that mirrors and magnifies that softness. When you choose clothes with too much fabric, zero shaping, and no structural elements, they actually emphasize the very changes you might be self-conscious about. A shapeless tunic or oversized top collapses downward, pulled by gravity and fabric weight. Instead of lifting your frame and creating clean lines, it overwhelms your natural structure. Your body disappears into rectangular blocks of fabric. Your shoulders look slumped. Your presence becomes smaller, hunched, pulled earthward when it should be rising. Fashion psychology research confirms that shapeless clothing signals self-consciousness to observers. Rather than projecting confidence, it broadcasts uncertainty, hiding, withdrawal. The most common offenders are everywhere in stores targeting mature shoppers. Those oversized tunics that were designed for comfort but end up hanging straight down your body like curtains. Boxy jackets with zero tailoring that add visual bulk instead of elegant structure. Tops with elastic waists that balloon out instead of following your body's natural line. Shirts with droopy collars or stretched out necklines that no longer frame your face properly. And long, shapeless cardigans that have no definition whatsoever, creating that dreaded mid-hip length that's universally unflattering by cutting your silhouette at its widest point. Here's the deeper truth, though. Clothing is communication. What you wear doesn't just express who you are to others. It tells your own body how to move, how to hold itself, how to exist in space. When you wear clothes that are soft and structured, that have gentle shaping and intentional lines, your posture naturally improves. Your shoulders rise. You stand taller. Your presence becomes more intentional and grounded. But when you wear shapeless, overwhelming pieces, they unintentionally send your body the message to hide, to shrink, to collapse inward. And you deserve clothing that encourages you to expand and stand tall, not disappear. The myth that's driving this trend is that loose equals comfortable and hiding equals flattering. Neither is true. Comfort and elegance aren't opposites. You can have both simultaneously with the right cuts and fabrics. And hiding your body under formless fabric doesn't make you look smaller. It makes you look larger and older, because all that excess fabric adds visual bulk while eliminating any sense of your actual shape. What should you wear instead? Soft tailoring that has gentle shaping without stiff structure. Think jackets and tops that acknowledge your body exists without clinging to every curve. Necklines that properly frame your face, like V-necks that elongate the neck, soft scoops that open up your décolletage, or boat necks that create elegant horizontal lines across the shoulders. Draped fabrics that skim your body, rather than either clinging desperately or collapsing shapelessly. These fabrics have enough substance to create clean lines, but enough fluidity to move beautifully. For prints, choose medium-scale patterns. Subtle florals where you can actually distinguish individual flowers, rather than chaotic jumbles. Geometric patterns that create visual interest without overwhelming. Delicate stripes that guide the eye in flattering directions. And incorporate gentle waist definition without discomfort. Wrap styles that adjust to your body. Empire waistlines that define without restricting. Slightly fitted cardigans that suggest shape. Tops with shoulder seams that sit where your shoulders actually are, lifting your frame rather than sliding down your arms. These shapes encourage the eye to move upward rather than dragging downward. They add gentle structure that respects your body instead of fighting it. They give your outfits a sense of intention and presence. You don't need tight clothes or dramatic tailoring. You simply need clarity, silhouettes that honor your body's current architecture and elevate your natural presence. Style number 2. Busy, chaotic prints pattern, and print can transform an outfit from ordinary to extraordinary, but they can also instantly age you when chosen poorly. Busy, chaotic prints create what designers call visual noise, a cluttered effect where your eye doesn't know where to rest. And that confusion translates directly into an aged, dated appearance. Think about tiny floral prints where the flowers are so small and densely packed that they create an almost dizzying effect. Or those large, bold florals from decades past that overwhelm your frame rather than complementing it. Swirling paisleys that spiral across the fabric with no breathing room. Geometric patterns so complex and chaotic that they fight for attention with your face. These prints don't support you. They compete with you. And they always win, leaving your face and presence as afterthoughts. The problem is scale and chaos. When a print is too tiny, it reads as texture from a distance, but becomes visually confusing up close. When it's too large relative to your frame, it consumes you. When it's too busy regardless of scale, it distracts from the elegant simplicity that defines timeless style. Clutter, whether in our homes or on our bodies, has a way of making us feel older and overwhelmed. Not because we are, but because it distracts from the clarity and quiet confidence of who we actually are. The solution isn't avoiding prints entirely. Prints add personality, interest, and joy to your wardrobe. The key is choosing prints with intentionality. Look for medium-scale patterns where individual elements are distinguishable but not overwhelming. A floral print where you can see the beauty of individual blooms. Geometric patterns with clean lines and adequate spacing. Subtle, abstract designs that create interest without chaos. Stripes that are neither too thin nor too wide, guiding the eye in flattering directions without becoming overwhelming. And consider print placement. A beautifully printed scarf near your face draws attention upward. A printed top paired with solid bottoms creates balance. An all-over print dress should have enough white space or background that your face remains the focal point. The print should support your presence, not overtake it. Style number 3. Outdated necklines and droopy details. The final aging style trap is subtler but equally important. It's about the details that frame your face and define your overall polish. Outdated necklines and droopy details quietly broadcast that your wardrobe is stuck in another era, and our brains instantly interpret dated clothing as aging, even when we can't consciously articulate why. High, buttoned-up collars that close off your neckline and create a restrictive, old-fashioned look. Turtlenecks that sit too high and visually shorten your neck while adding bulk. Ruffled collars that feel more costume than contemporary. Droopy, stretched-out necklines that have lost their shape and now sag unflattering lie instead of sitting where they should. These details don't just look dated. They actively work against you by shortening your neck, adding visual weight near your face, and creating lines that pull downward instead of lifting upward. Your neckline is crucial because it's the frame for your face. Just as a beautiful painting needs the right frame to showcase it properly, your face needs necklines that open up space, create clean lines, and draw the eye in flattering ways. V-necks elongate the neck and create breathing room. Soft scoop necks open up the décolletage without revealing too much. Boat necks create elegant horizontal lines across the shoulders that broaden and balance your upper body. Square necklines offer modern geometry that feels fresh and architectural. The quality and condition of these details matters too. Collars that have become floppy and shapeless. Necklines that have stretched out of shape from repeated washing. Details that were trendy in a specific year or decade and now immediately date the garment. These small things accumulate into an overall impression of being out of touch with current style, and that impression translates into looking older than you are. The solution is paying attention to these details when you shop and when you audit your existing wardrobe. Does this neckline sit properly and frame my face attractively? Are these details fresh and current? Or do they scream a specific past era? Is this collar sharp and structured, or has it gone soft and droopy? These small considerations make enormous differences in your overall polish and presence. Bringing it all together, your personal style formula. Now that you understand the 3 colors and 3 styles that age you, let's create a simple, usable formula you can apply immediately. Think of this as your elegant style formula after 60, a gentle, reliable guide for choosing outfits that brighten your face, refine your silhouette, and express your natural confidence. First, choose medium saturation colors near your face. Not harsh, not dull, but beautifully in the middle. These shades add life and light to your complexion without overwhelming it. They enhance your features rather than competing with them. Choose 1 or 2 signature colors that make you feel amazing. Maybe deep navy, soft berry, muted emerald, or warm ivory. These become your go-to energy colors, the shades that instantly lift your face on days when you want to look polished without overthinking it. Second, embrace soft contrast. Choose combinations that harmonize rather than jar. When contrast is too harsh, like pure black against pale skin, it drags attention downward. When contrast is too low, like beige on beige, it washes you out completely. Soft contrast is the sweet spot. It frames your face gently, adds dimension, and creates refined, elegant balance. Third, prioritize structured simplicity. Choose silhouettes that have just enough structure to support your posture and highlight your natural shape. A soft-shouldered cardigan with gentle shaping. A V-neck top that elongates. A dress with subtle waist definition. A blouse with crisp, clean lines. Keep details intentional rather than busy. Your outfit should guide the eye smoothly from top to bottom without overwhelming or confusing. When you combine medium vibrancy, soft contrast, and structured simplicity, you create outfits that naturally lift your face, refine your silhouette, and amplify your presence. This isn't about rules or restrictions. It's about understanding how to work with your body's current reality instead of against it. The truth about style after 60. if there's one message to carry forward from everything we've discussed, it's this. You don't need to reinvent yourself. You don't need to chase trends that feel foreign to who you are. And you certainly don't need to dress younger or try to turn back time. The real secret is simply choosing colors and silhouettes that work with you, with your natural radiance, your softened contrast, your lived-in beauty, your confidence that's been earned through decades of experience, not imagined or borrowed. When you avoid dull tones that drain you, when you soften or replace stark black with deeper, more flattering alternatives, when you choose silhouettes that honor your shape instead of hiding it, you don't just look better in some superficial way. You feel aligned, grounded, unmistakably yourself. And remember, this stage of life isn't about fading away into invisible beiges and shapeless comfort clothes. It's about refining, elevating, and stepping fully into the quiet elegance that only experience and wisdom can give. Style after 60 becomes less about following what everyone else does and more about knowing yourself deeply enough to choose what actually serves you. It's about looking in the mirror and seeing a woman who's comfortable in her skin, confident in her choices, and completely present in her life. That's the real transformation these simple changes create. If today's discussion helped you understand your style more deeply or gave you new perspective on your wardrobe choices, make sure to subscribe and tap the notification bell. We explore aging with confidence, grace, and intention every single week, covering everything from fashion to wellness to living your most vibrant life at every age. And I'd genuinely love to hear from you. Which color or style from today surprised you the most? What changes are you planning to make? Share your thoughts in the comments below. I read every single one, and your insights help create our community together. Thank you so much for spending this time with me today. Until next time, stay elegant, stay vibrant, and keep showing up as the magnificent woman you already are.